Out of all of the known species that inhabit this planet, none are as creative and imaginative as us Homo sapiens. Our perseverance with acquiring knowledge is one of our most significant attributes. But what happens when we cannot explain what we experience? This is where religion, folklore, and superstitions are introduced into our culture. On this Halloween-themed episode of The Twisted 10, we explore some of the most famous scary creatures our collective gray matter has conjured up over the centuries. Today, we discuss the top 10 Halloween monster origins. And welcome to another episode of The Twisted 10.
Man, what's up?
What's up, guys?
What's happening?
I feel like I was just here a few days ago.
Yeah.
It's just one day less. But it does feel like, yeah.
I've had a very busy weekend, sir.
I am Adam. I am your host tonight. And as you heard from the bumper, this is going to be a Halloween-themed episode, but not just spooky and creepy and stuff like that. It really gets into the origins tonight, so I think that's going to be fun. Sitting across from me over on the giant futon.
I'm Josh. I am... Wait, I don't need to say that.
Yeah.
I'm not your host.
You're not the host.
Yeah.
I screwed up our pattern, didn't I? I screwed up our rhythm by doing the bumper live
Messing
read.
with the model. How dare you?
And our cynic,
with the model. Hang on.
the Twisted Cynic.
That's Ron, who clearly, based off who's in the studio today, if someone's taking their top off, it'll have to be me.
I don't know. I think I got you beat on the size of boobs in the studio. You've been losing weight.
Yeah, I don't know. We should have a comparison.
I'm down.
Most dudes like to whip their dicks out and compare. Let's just compare our breasts.
Oh.
No,
Why don't we just get naked? Let's join one of our Discord listeners. Let's get naked like
you
one
can
of our folks in Discord.
Photoshop us in that picture. I mean, side.
Yes. Oh.
Hey, should we put Twisted 10 sticker over our penis?
You know, Ron's joking about this stuff, but this is kind of a true story. So last week's episode was hosted by Tall Trey Comedy, and he had his fiancée, Becky, in the studio, and she did something that was really, really pretty cool for us. She took a picture in the studio with Twisted 10 stickers on her nipples. So that's kind of cool because the story led up to it.
That picture sitting in the council room.
Only available because it is while her nipples are covered, it's not suitable for work or not safe for work.
It's still hot. That's all I know.
That's only available to Twisted Council members. So speaking of that, why don't we get to our plugs tonight for council, for twisted10.com, all that stuff.
Hold on, I have to get it.
Do you need
because we weren't prepared.
Yes. Do you need the script?
I do. I only have one arm. Oh. Sorry about that.
That's
See,
okay.
we're just not produced show, are we? There you go. Okay. All right.
That one Star Trek fan is going nuts. He's like, "See, told you."
See, look at him. So ill prepared. I thought the point of doing a podcast was to have fun.
What?
All right, so
I'm having fun.
You are?
before we kick it off, a big thanks to our Twisted Council for their support of the show. You guys are awesome. Also to our listeners hanging out with us in Discord for the live stream, thank you. That little group is growing. It's awesome. If you're enjoying the show, we have more behind the scenes for you. Go to twisted10.com, twisted10.com for the info and links. And I just want to do a little bit more emphasis on joining in Discord. Obviously, it's free to come just join Discord. I know a lot of people aren't part of Discord who aren't part of the gaming community, but it is growing into a lot more than that.
It is.
You can, you can find other communities that you want to participate in, obviously. And
Discord is an intimidating thing for somebody who's never done it before.
It was for me too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was for me as well.
You do need to have a Discord account, but that doesn't cost you anything. You sign into it and you click our little link that is on the website, is on twistedten.com, and it takes you right in. I mean, there's nothing to it. As a basic listener, without a Patreon or a council membership level status, you still get access to most of our channels. Just the exclusive channels for our council members are just for them only.
Yeah.
So, but click into it, take a look. You don't have to download an app on your phone. You can, or for your computer or whatever. You can just go to the website
if you want.
So yeah, it's super simple.
You can check it out, and if you go in there now into the announcements page, we're doing a giveaway. Now this will be if you're listening to this episode right now, in and it's before the giveaway. We release episodes on Monday. The giveaway
record on Tuesday.
And the giveaway is Tuesday evening, and October 26th. It's just saying Tuesday is not good. October 26th, 2021. So if you're listening to this like a year from now, sorry you missed it. But October 26th, 2021, that night we'll be recording a live episode. Well, it's live if you come listen live. And we're doing a big giveaway, Manscaped giveaway. We have
two weed whackers.
Weed whackers and a lawnmower 4.0. That's like their main big product.
Those are expensive products.
Yeah, they're really expensive products. We're giving away, but you have to be here in Discord live.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the big deal.
That
and the
is
free
the big
memberships,
deal.
by the way, being a free Discord listener and a person just to hang out and chill with us and talk about show content or just general stuff in life and whatever, you can also still listen to the live stream for free as well. It doesn't cost anything just to participate.
Yeah, absolutely. But come in, check it out. We'll have a decent amount of people in there, but I think that if you do show up, your odds are good. We're not exactly Rogan here. So you probably have a good shot of winning one of these if you show up Tuesday evening. Now, I didn't really say a time because we usually start streaming live about 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. But we won't get to the giveaway until...
When should we do it? Should we do it at the beginning?
10:30.
We're going to have several hundred listeners, and then they're going to fall off after the giveaway.
No, we said we weren't going to do that mostly because we want to give the West Coast of the U.S. a chance to get off work, get home, and listen as well. So it's probably going to be like 10:30.
Yeah,
Eastern time,
I think a good time to do that is actually going to be during the mid-show break. And then we can announce the winners afterwards, because I want to talk, we hope to have a nice turnout. We want to hang out with everybody.
That's a good point.
We can, during the studio break where we normally hang out with the live stream anyways, we'll do the giveaway then, and then we'll announce the winners on the show. We'll still do that when we come back. But
that's a good idea.
That's the major smoke and mirrors that you just kind of alluded to there, Josh. So what we do for the listener who just listens to the downloads, the music that you hear in the break, by the way, we have a new song from Truephonic. Not new to them, but new to us. A new song from Truephonic tonight to play during the break. So you're going to hear 5 minutes of a cool song. But really, that's like 15, maybe 20 minutes of time where we're just chilling and hanging out
people
in Discord.
Yeah. So,
smoke and mirrors.
So probably that'll be around maybe 9:30, 9:45, somewhere between 9:30 and 10, likely.
All right.
For those, I'd love for you to stay around and listen to the whole show live. But in case maybe you don't have time or you're getting off work, whatever, and you still want to, as long as you're in during that time, we do the drawing. Sorry, we don't have a specific exact time.
We're not produced
well
enough.
But we're not a produced well enough show. Exactly.
Fuck that nerd.
Yeah, anybody who watches Star Trek Next Generation is a nerd, because I'm definitely a nerd. Yeah,
with
that's
you,
it.
buddy.
And
there we go.
Before we go, just one last thing, and of course to our show sponsors, Manscaped. For 20% off and free worldwide shipping, use code TWISTED10 at checkout at manscaped.com.
Nice plugs. You guys, we're professionals there. Yeah, that was done.
Not according to the Trekkies.
No, that's just the producing, not the on-air personality. I mean,
Gotcha. Good stuff.
Different.
All right, enough of all that.
So before we get into the show, your Ron's healing arm.
Yes, it is.
Your arm's getting better. You're holding a drink in studio with it.
It's healing better now that I. Didn't have I don't have the adhesive allergy issue, which I didn't know I had that. So 3 weeks of having that on me, and obviously it wasn't healing very well. The incision itself wasn't healing. Surgery turned out great. So
I may have to go under the knife here pretty soon too. I'm talking with
penis enlargement.
No, reduction. It's killing my back.
Oh, it's
breast
reduction.
I'm talking not until after we compare. No, I'm going to talk to the ENT. I've got a deviated septum, so they're going to MRI me and then take a look and see if it needs to be corrected, which could be something that leads to migraines as well as my sinus issues and some other general problems.
The snoring?
The snoring, yeah.
The snoring and just not getting good sleep in general.
Yeah, well, correct, yeah. That's probably the more serious part of this, is that it's snoring that as bad as I do does affect your health. I mean, it legitimately does.
If there was a podcast that had nothing but 80, 90-year-old people on it, is this what it fucking sounds like? How's your arm? How's your deviated septum? Hey, Josh, how's that hair plug surgery going? Is it holding?
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
Hair plugs.
But not to 80-year-old women. They love that shit.
What, hair plugs?
that conversation.
Oh, that conversation. They think that's hot.
Yeah, that's the Villages
How's your
podcast.
goiter?
But that surgery could affect the show, but like long term.
I'm Adam, and I'm
Yeah,
your host
exactly.
this evening.
People who have those surgeries, like a large percentage of them, have their voices change because how their sinuses and their nasal cavity works and resonance. It changes your voice.
Welcome to the show. Hi, everybody.
I'm going to come back and I'm going to have a Frankie Blue Eyes voice to come in here. I'm going to start singing.
Some Barry White going on, some Al
Yes.
Green.
Yes.
I love it.
So that's in my future. And getting the snip downstairs too. But
Whatever.
that's-
You've been talking about that shit for 2 years.
I'll
What
believe
if-
it when I see it.
We're like 2.5 years past ours, or at least I'm like 2.5 years. I think you're like a year and a half past yours.
What if
John.
getting
Something like
snipped raises my voice and getting my other surgery lowers my voice and I even out?
It evens out and you sound
it's a
exactly
wash.
the same. Sounds good.
All right, that works. All right, you guys ready to get into this list?
Well, we didn't ask Josh about any medical ailments he has.
But he's 10 years younger than us. He doesn't start getting sick until he's our age.
That's true.
I was building a piece of furniture and tweaked my back.
It's starting already.
Does that count?
Well, it depends on the
bit.
piece of furniture.
It was heavy. It was like a couch.
Oh,
You were building a couch?
Well, I was like putting it together. It was like IKEA, but
Oh, gotcha.
Amazon generic foreign sounding name. I don't really know. I don't remember what the brand was, but it's a nice patio set. I got a new patio set. You'll have to come down and see
nice.
it, Adam.
Oh, it was an
And your
outdoor
house.
couch.
Don't
Okay.
you give me the dad eyes, motherfucker. I already took the guilt of that. I took your power away last
That's
week
true.
when I said,
You
I am
did.
a bad friend for not coming down to check out your new place.
His new place is really nice. It's quite nice.
Thank you.
I like it.
I appreciate that.
I don't know if I had said that before, but it is really nice.
No, it's fine. I give you a hard time. It's actually, it's finally at a state where, of
Florida?
course, you would have been.
I was going to say that too.
I opened that
Sorry.
door, didn't I?
Yeah. Dad joke.
You move in, and it takes a little while to get settled and get art up on the walls and everything done and everything. The last thing,
Like our studio.
We got art up in here.
Sorry.
It's like concrete and 2x4s.
I had to.
That's advanced savant. Wait, what's a fancy word for artists? That's fancy art. We have our whole living vicariously sign up still.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
did hang up that license plate.
yeah, you hung a license plate on the wall.
How do you like that? It's just I found it and like, where am I gonna put this? Oh, there's a nail. Put it right there. That's literally what happened.
That's fair. So, Josh, art on your walls.
No, that's it. Just the house is ready. Just furniture's together. The last thing we're waiting on is our bar stools for the island, and that's like
Nice.
that's it. And then we're in gutters, but that's less exciting. I can still bring people over if I don't have gutters on the house. Don't look at the outside. I don't have gutters yet.
I don't have gutters in my house, and I've owned it for 10 years. So.
Yeah, I don't. It'll happen eventually. But that's like it. That's all we want. And then it's Florida, so we're also gonna get a. It's called lifestyle screens, but it's like it mounts to your garage door hardware.
Yeah.
And it like closes, so I can like have a screen that I can close
Yeah,
on
you
my
can,
garage.
you can open your garage, and on a nice day, just kind of chill in there, make it like a man cave, if you will, and have some screens.
Because I've got everything. I've got furniture in there. I've got my dartboard up. My beer fridge is ready.
One of our friends,
Sounds like fun.
actually, one of our council members, Aponte, throwing a shout out to him. He had a garage screen thing like that, but it was magnetic, so you could easily open it and close it just walking through it. If you, I don't know if you.
Oh, I do remember.
Jason might remember that. Your alter ego when you get too drunk.
Yeah, no, I
'Cause
remember.
He was
I walked
there.
into that.
Wait a
That
minute.
doesn't surprise me.
Oh, do you have a drunk alter ego, Josh?
He has a
We
name.
talk about it on the show. He turns into Jason.
I don't
He turns
remember
into
that.
this
Are you sure you didn't talk about that
blabbering-
on like Living Podcast? I don't remember
no,
that.
Were
at
you
all.
on your phone?
That's what,
I deserve that.
he called you out.
I deserve that.
No, that might have been a night we've been drinking too in the studio. So
Okay.
That's true. Yeah, it's
All right. I didn't realize that.
I do have an alter ego. He becomes very honest, but not like in an offensive way. Just
Really?
like I can't.
yes, you
do
do look
cards
fat in
and-
that.
I hate to see what those drives up to the podcast sound like. Fuck you, Jason. Go away. Where's Josh? Awesome.
Oh, what a good segue. That actually right there might have a tie-in in tonight's list.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right.
It's deep, so you have to remember that way later in the show, though. But we'll get
should
to
I
it.
slow down on this Mountain Dew and Jameson?
I need to actually pour myself some Angel's Envy here in a little bit, so we'll get to that. All right. What you looking at?
I'm not looking at anything.
Oh, you were pointing at something over here.
Yeah. You getting ready to start the show?
Yeah. Oh, no, we're doing that next week.
Oh,
do we want to do
I
tonight?
thought we were pushing the button tonight.
Do it. Fuck it. Hit the button.
We're doing it live. Oh, wait, I got to actually. So I wasn't prepared for this.
I thought you were doing it tonight. I thought that was the whole point.
God damn it. Maybe that nerd was right from Star Trek Community. All right, here we go.
Let's all go to the lobby.
Less talky, more twisted 10 lists. Get to the damn show already.
Anne is making her presence known, and she is commanding us to start this list, so let's get right into it. I do want to throw this out there that the inspiration for this list came from none other than one of our council members, Fluff.
Cool.
She was the one who sent me the information and said, hey, this would be cool for a Halloween-themed episode. So, Fluff, thank you very much for the idea. Other council members, if you guys have ideas for shows that you want us to do, as you have already in the past as well, just throw them in the council room in Discord and, tag us or just drop them in there. We're pretty attentive to that.
That's where I work from home. I'm always on Discord.
Those were some verbal or audible air quotes.
Yeah,
we heard those.
air quotes.
Work from home. All right, so tonight is the top 10 monsters of Halloween. Really, it's the origins of some of the most scary monsters. Tonight's list does have a competition, but it's not really a crown-earning competition because it's too easy.
Boo.
All right, it is too easy. That is one of the
Frankenstein.
clues. That is an answer tonight, too. See what I mean? It's very easy. You won't know the order.
The Mummy.
You won't know the order that I put these in. So some of these, I'm just going to throw out a keyword.
Nosferatu.
I'm going to throw out a keyword, and you just say the name, and whoever gets it, just pat yourself on the back. Okay. So, you guys ready?
Is there a twist?
No twist tonight.
Little fun, interaction.
No twist tonight in tonight's episode. I am going to go through this because a couple of the paragraphs here were written so well by these sources. I am going to just give them some reference shout-outs. TheTheologian.com, History.com, Wikipedia, of course, Reader's Digest, BBC, Britannica, and TheConversation.com were some of the references for this entire list.
Nice.
Because this is, I ad-libbed or wrote something creatively on a lot of these, but some of them I didn't. So, all right, here we go. Number 10.
Number 10.
Your clue is, it's alive.
Frankenstein.
Oh, that's a tie. We're going to tie all night. Aren't we?
Alive.
Yes, Frankenstein's monster to be specific. So here's something that we're going to do with each one of these. I'm going to give
Mary
you
Shelley.
a little bit of the notes about the character, the origin, and maybe if there's some modern day science that ties to it, a little bit of that as well. So here we go. Yeah, author, very good. Author Mary Shelley, 1816, published in 1818. This is the easiest origin of the entire list because this came from
Frankenstein?
a book.
That book is literally from 1818.
Yes.
It's over 200 years old.
It is.
Fuck it, that's badass.
Mary Shelley may have been inspired by her travels in Germany in 1816 when she visited Darmstadt, Germany. Forgive me if I'm gonna butcher a lot of these foreign countries or cities or
That makes
whatever.
it fun.
Berg Frankenstein, aka Frankenstein's Castle, is a hilltop castle in the Odenwald overlooking the city. And Odenwald just is like this particular hilly range that overlooks that city. The first document proving the existence of the castle itself, because I did actually pull up the Google Maps and zoom in on this castle. I'm like, oh, I want to see how fucking monstrous this is. It's really not that impressive. It's kind of meh.
I mean, as far as European castles go,
yeah, it's
trailer
not
park.
Yeah, it's not
Trailer park. Nice.
It really is. I mean, it's a castle. There's no question about that. But it is kind of a loose. Cinderella's castle in Disney World puts it to shame.
Yeah,
Let's put it that
gotcha.
way. The first document proving its existence was from 1252, and that sent me on a tangent. And I didn't write all this stuff down, but the Frankenstein family has a huge family ruling.
Is Frodrick there?
No, but Frodo.
Frodrick Frankenstein?
Frodo is.
And Igor?
No,
nothing.
I don't get Frodrick. I get Igor.
Young
What's Frodrick?
Young Frankenstein.
Ah,
Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah, but I was like 12. So
God, that's like a classic
You know
Mel
how
Brooks
much
movie.
fun it is to hear those words coming out of somebody else is just wonderful.
That means that movie was made in like 1924.
Shelley's story tells of a mad scientist, Victor Frankenstein's creation of a human-like creature put together by a hodgepodge of human body parts he had collected. With the assistance of a lightning rod-style contraption that harnessed electrical energy, his 8-foot-tall creation came to life. Shelley's story takes us through the frightening monster story wrapped with human emotions and the desire Frankenstein's monster had to fit into human society. Lots of parallels there with any era of humanity. Eventually seeking revenge on his creator because society could not accept his hideousness. So we all know the story for the most part of Frankenstein. As I was reading some of the Cliff's Notes, I realized I had never actually read that original book.
I never have.
Frankenstein goes like to the Arctic Circle and shit. I mean, he's all over the place. This dude, Frankenstein's monster, travels all over the fucking world. And in fact, there was a lady Frankenstein that was created, but was destroyed before being brought to life, which also angered the monster of Frankenstein. Modern day science, from stem cell science to CRISPR to cloning, we are closer than ever to being able to replicate something as wild and vivid as the subject of Shelley's story. Humanity has already taken amazing steps at growing replacement body parts from limbs to organs and are on the precipice of the medical and scientific breakthroughs required. It is thought that it will be within our lifetimes, that was hard to say, that you will have the option of 3D printing new body parts specifically engineered to match your physiology. So that fucking tore up ass arm that you got sitting over there, you could just say, nah, I don't want it worked on. Just print me a new one.
If I only get one shot at this, I just want a bigger dick. I mean, if I only get one wish from the 3D body part printer, I just want a bigger penis.
I can see Ron sitting behind the consultation room with the penis 3D printing company. He's like, I like that one. Oh, that one's good. That one's perfect. Do you have that in white? I already see where you're going.
Very good.
All right, you ready for number 9?
Yes.
I don't know what I would. Or, I'm sorry, I'm still hung up on what I would order from the 3D.
Speaking
printer.
of hung up, no, sorry. Yeah.
I don't know. Does it have to be a natural body part?
I've seen some teamwork parties. You want new liver. That's what you want. May I
Wait
please
a minute.
get a
Does
new
it
liver?
have to be? What was your question?
You want like a fourth or a third
like
arm?
a third eye?
Like, I don't know. Like, what if I wanted like hands with like Wolverine claws or something? Like, I don't know. Like, can I stretch the mold here? I don't know.
You're getting into the Island of Dr. Moreau level DNA manipulation.
You're right.
Or perhaps the human centipede. I'm not really sure.
That was a rough movie.
Yeah.
That was a rough one.
If you've never seen that, don't.
Yeah, don't. So
Number 9.
Number 9.
Your clue is, this might be a little bit hard to get, but your clue is, I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too.
Wizard of Oz. So
Right?
witches.
Witches. Very good, Ron. Ron's
Nice.
up by 1 point, but no crown tonight.
No crown.
Um,
I'm gonna smoke you anyway, son.
These are all Halloween style characters that we have all grown up with, but the origins sometimes may surprise you. Witches probably won't, but we'll get there. We'll see.
Yeah, witches been around forever.
Yeah. Witches were perceived as evil beings by early Christians in Europe, inspiring the iconic Halloween figure. Inspiring the iconic Halloween figure. Images of witches have appeared in various forms throughout history.
Which ones?
What?
Wham, wham.
I said which one? Sorry.
Bad.
So bad.
From evil wart-nosed women huddling over cauldrons of boiling liquid to hog-faced cackling beings riding through the sky on brooms wearing pointy hats. Witches were thought to have magical powers, could conjure and communicate with spirits, and even apply curses to people and places. Origin. So just to set the stage standard here, the origin of witches is unclear. It isn't set in stone. We have references to witches throughout history, and I'm going to cover a couple
Does Darwin
of those.
bring it up in his Origin of Species?
No,
No?
this is not.
Okay.
That's no.
Origin of Wiccan?
Oh, very good. That's mentioned in here, so very, very good. First records of witches is actually from the Bible. Book of Samuel, thought to have been written between 931 and 721 BC, so 3,000 years ago. Pardon me. It tells the story of King Saul and his seeking the witch of Endor to summon the dead prophet Samuel's spirit to help him defeat the Philistine army. Turns out that even after seeking the witch's help, Saul's son died the next day in battle, and he killed himself. So
King Saul Rosenberg?
Saul Rosenberg! I pull large pieces of furniture.
Wait, what's it with all the witches here? Sorry.
Very good Jerky
bad.
Boys reference. No, I like it. Jerky Boys are always welcome on the Twisted 10. There are other mentions in the Bible that reference witches as well, none so powerful as Exodus, which says, quote, and this is a pretty important quote that kind of led, well, the damnation of witches in general. This quote from Exodus is, quote, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live," unquote. which was the inspiration for Christianity's relentless warpath against women who were believed to be witches for thousands of years.
Salem.
Yeah, even as close as a couple hundred years ago here in the United States, this was something that was
some of my
sought after.
favorite witches. Witches have been in a million movies and whatnot. Some of my favorite witches are the 3 blind witches from Clash of the Titans, the original.
Oh yeah,
the original
claymation.
Well, the new Clash of the Titans. I think it's stop motion is the title.
Stop motion. Yeah.
The new Clash of the Titans had the 3 witches too, and they did a pretty good job of it. But those are, I don't know, those are some scary looking witches from back then.
Josh did not see that, I promise you.
I actually did. I had to watch it. I had to watch it in high school. Yeah,
that's a great movie.
There's a scene in there with a bunch of skeletons. I actually don't know how it was filmed because there's a bunch of mystery behind it. I have an honest question, and I hate how snarky this is going to sound, but what is the difference between claymation and stop motion?
I have no fucking clue.
Okay.
I think, one, claymation is the models used to do the stop motion. Stop motion is the style of photography or cinematography used. So one is the model, one is the style art form. So
right, cool.
It's probably both. We're probably both right here.
I could have explained it, but Adam, you did a good job there.
Where's Tack? What do we need him?
Fucking had no idea. Yeah, Tack would have nailed that.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah. Witch hunting became popular in the mid 1400s.
Do you need a license for that?
Witch hunting?
Witch hunting? Get my witch hunting license.
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting witches. Witches were either burned, hung, or drowned, quote, in the name of religion. In Europe alone, between 1500 and 1660, an estimated 80,000 witches were put to death. Single women, widows, and other women on the margins of society were especially targeted. Now, this book, and I'm curious to see, Ron, if you've read this book laid the groundwork for Christianity. It wasn't a Christian book, but this book laid the groundwork for Christianity's targeting of witches. Have you ever heard of and I might mispronounce this, so forgive me, the Malleus Maleficarum?
No, definitely not. No idea what that is.
Sounds like a drop in WoW.
So the Malleus Maleficarum was written by German Heinrich Kramer in 1486. This book was adopted by the Catholics of the time and used as a literal standard operating procedural manual of how to identify witches, how to torture them into confession, and the proper doctrine for putting them to death. The book was later used by royal courts during the Renaissance and contributed to the increasingly brutal prosecution of witchcraft during the 16th and 17th century. That one guy who wrote this one fucking obviously fake book didn't realize it at the time. A couple hundred years later, that book became their doctrine of how to hunt, how to identify, and then how to torture. Obviously, torturing to a certain level. What is it called when you torture somebody so bad they'll confess to anything? What is that called? There's a term for that.
Oh, I don't know.
Probably should have looked that up before this. But anyway, it goes through the process of torturing these people into confessing to anything. It didn't matter what it was at that point. They just wanted the torture to stop, so they're going to confess to it.
That's why they've said, little off topic. That's why they said that torture is not actually a good form of interrogation.
No, not at all.
Because of that reason.
Yeah. There's a term.
And it's interesting that they found this book like 200 years later and then adopted it as some kind of doctrine, which will definitely happen with the Anne episode of Twisted 10 hundreds of years from now. Someone will develop a cult from that, and they'll find it in some kind of weird archive somewhere at Apple.
What do you mean they forced them to mine crypto? How barbaric.
Kind of makes you wonder, because, as we look back over the years, and a couple of these references that we're going to talk about tonight go back hundreds of years, but that was the norm back then. That was just standard, you just did what the church said. You believed everything that everyone told you in those types of circles. And how asinine is that to us now? What about 200 years from now? What are they going to be looking back and saying, what are those people fucking morons for doing that for back then? You know what I mean?
Since the beginning of civilized or organized human history, groups of people have been targeting other small groups of people for anything and everything through periods of time. Whether it's Wiccan, whether it's in the 1950s, you're a communist. I mean, you name it. I'm sure we could name stuff now.
He's different. Kill him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It is sadly seems to be human nature, and there's, and witches, so to speak, and hunting them, if you will, it's just one more blip on the screen of that pattern.
Of how sad humanity really is.
That's true.
So modern day, let's look at witches, or Wicca, in modern day. In most of the civilized, politically correct world, witches have a new dawn to explore and expand their lifestyle. Recognized as a real religion in many parts of the world, Wicca is a modern day religion that includes some who identify themselves as witches. Just like Scotch and whiskey, not all witches are Wicca, and not all Wicca members are witches. Kind of important to point out. In the U.S. alone, this blew my fucking mind. There are over 800,000 identified Wiccans.
I used to work. There was somebody two people that I worked with at Barnes and Noble were not just, oh yeah, I'm Wiccan. I mean, they went to Wiccan festivals, parties, camped out.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. It sounded like a blast. And I think really what they did is went out and partied and got high and then said some spells from a book and nothing happened.
How different is that from prayer?
They thought something
How
happened.
different is that from Christianity and prayer? Not
I
to get down the religious,
crossing
political.
that road.
I apologize.
I'm not going down that road. But,
I apologize.
But
right.
I'm just saying it's more common. Wiccan is more common.
It's way more popular than I thought it was in
Barnes and Noble,
US.
if you go to the what we called New Age at the time, I don't know what they call that section now, you can find tons of stuff on Wiccan. Tons of stuff.
I actually have some hands-on experience with Wicca. Did you guys know that?
Did you bang a witch?
My first boob grab was a witch.
Really?
She was a Wiccan. True
There
story.
you go.
Oh, that's
We
cool.
kind of almost did bang a witch.
Did she have a pointy nose, have a hat, and ride a broom?
Did she have pointy boobs?
That's stereotypical. That's insensitive of us. How dare us? Wicca, I apologize for anybody who might be Wiccan.
No, that's the end of the story. I grabbed a witch's boob. That's a true story, and that's it.
Did you go Wicca, Wicca, Wicca? All right.
That's so horrible. But what's even better is I was thinking about that like 2 minutes ago and I didn't say it because it was so dumb. I'm glad you did.
Great minds. All right. Number 8.
Wait.
We've tried to move on to the next number twice and Josh has stopped
there
us.
were witches on Endor. Was that? Did I hear that in there? Was that an earlier anecdote?
From the book of Samuel, so King
Samuel
Saul,
L. Jackson, motherfucking witches.
on these motherfucking planes, motherfucking witches on these motherfucking brooms. No, King Saul seeked the witch of Endor to summon the dead prophet Samuel's spirit. So a king back in whatever fucking year this was did
bring all the witches.
he sought the witch of Endor. That's in the Bible.
And the reason why I keyed in on that is because if I'm not mistaken, in the Star Wars universe,
yeah, there's Endor.
There are Force witches on the planet Endor.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just made a connection that excited me.
No,
Oh,
good job.
wow.
There's a lot of religious and political references sewn through a lot of the movies from the 70s. A lot of them.
Was Endor a planet or a moon? Wasn't it the forest moon of Endor?
They did
Yes.
go to the forest moon of Endor.
Oh, okay.
The planet.
Is that where the witches were?
No, they were on Endor, if I remember correctly.
Do you know what the forest moon of
Ewoks
Endor is
were
called?
on-
Outdoor. Gotcha. See, I made you laugh.
What the hell?
I made Josh Belly laugh at that. It
yeah.
wasn't even a good joke.
But it was wordplay, and that's
But it
my
was a
favorite.
Star Wars joke, so it was funny to us.
Number 8.
Number 8.
This one's going to be difficult to get. I really don't think Josh will get this one. If you do, double points. You'll catch up to Ron if.
All right, Ron,
Man,
give
if
me
he
5
was doing
seconds.
this as a real competition and I started smoking you again, let's do that. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Number 8's clue is your mother's in here, Karis. Would you like to leave a message? I'll see that she gets it. Or let me rephrase my voice a little bit. Your mother's in here, Karis.
The Exorcist?
Yeah, very good. And what does that lead us to? What kind of character in Halloween?
The devil?
Nope. More general.
More
Evil spirit?
Close.
Ghost?
Exorcism?
No.
Ghost?
No.
Demon?
That's later. Demon. Bam! Josh got it. Double points.
Yeah. Haha,
He's
Ron.
beating you now, Ron.
I said The Exorcist. I said a quote from the fucking movie it came from.
It's not.
But he gets
I'm
demon.
looking for demon. Demon is number 8.
All right, bullshit.
He's mad now.
Some bullshit right there.
So demons are
2 to 1.
defined in current day as supernatural beings that are typically associated with evil. According to ancient and medieval Christian demonology, a demon is considered a harmful spiritual entity which may cause demonic possession or harm. Origin. So the origin of demons date as far back as Mesopotamia and continued through ancient Greek, Roman, pagan, and other cultures. The irony here is that the original interpretation of demon was good-spirited and happy presence. It was later associated with negative connotations in a translation of the Hebrew Bible called the Septuagint, Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that. It was, and to your point about human beings being complete dickheads and prejudice, it was Christianity who originally began to associate the term demon to its pagan sister religions and drew the negative satanic tie directly to them and their beliefs. Christianity is what turned demons into negative and evil spirit associated with pagans, according to
people against goodness and normalcy.
Yeah, it was original interpretations of the word was good-spirited and happiness, general happiness. But nope. The Christian said, no, you can no longer be that. You're now pagan and you're associated with evil and the devil. The English use of demon as a synonym for evil and the devil is dated around 825. Mesopotamians believed the underworld was home to many demons, evil spirits, they referred to as offspring of Arali. Now remember, they didn't necessarily call them demons. There were other translations that they had, but those are the original sightings or, references to some evil spirits that do harm to humanity. So this offspring of Arali, I had to look that shit up because I didn't know what that was. Arali is a general term for the underworld. So these are children of the underworld. So kind of like children of hell.
Raleigh, North Carolina? Sorry.
It's next to Fayetteville. Those demons would occasionally leave the underworld to terrorize mortals on Earth, according to the Mesopotamians. Again, Mesopotamia was, 15,000 years ago?
I just know they mentioned Mesopotamia and Ghostbusters. That's all I remember.
Suck 'em in, boys. We're the Ghostbusters. Most all religions or spiritual faith movements around the world have held beliefs about spiritual evil that influences humanity through persuasion, possession, direct harm, or misguidance away from what they consider the acceptable moral path of their teachings. Fear is an amazing motivator. When the majority of our history is filled with the curious yet ignorant minds of humans, there is little doubt to me that demons and evil spirits have been manifested to help keep the herd moving in the direction that the religious shepherds have desired.
Have you guys ever seen the movie? I assume you have, Josh, 50-50. Seen the movie Exorcist?
Oh, no. Fucking great.
Fuck, that movie
holds up.
Absolutely holds up. Ridiculously scary movie.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I grew up Catholic. I was baptized Catholic. I went to Catholic school till like 4th or 5th grade. I got the pleasure of seeing The Exorcist when I was in like 1st grade. So you could say it left an impression on my brain and freaked me out. That movie is still a movie I cannot watch like at night by myself.
Scariest scene?
Absolutely not.
Scariest scene.
Scariest scene?
I have one, hands down, no question. What's the scariest moment in that movie to me?
The scariest moment? I don't know. I think it's when she starts like floating up. And then kind of...
In the bed?
Yeah.
That one's okay to me.
Yeah, that freaks me out. The pea soup is scary.
Pea soup is a fucking great reference. No, the scariest scene to me is when she inverts herself on the ground, almost like a bridge, like
that weird crab
gymnast.
Walk
yeah.
thing?
And crab walks down the stairs at the camera.
That wasn't in the original release of that movie.
Really?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, that was something they had edited out and then added back in like 30 years later.
No shit, I did not know that.
Yeah, so anything you saw years ago, you didn't actually see that particular crab
I've watched
walking.
The Exorcist not so recently, probably in the last 5 years.
Yeah, crab walking down there. That was one scene that wasn't there. That movie, and I watched a little making of that movie one time, and I remember they said to the writers, I think the director said to the writer, "Hey, we need her to say some really bad stuff," and he's like, well, when you say really bad stuff, like, what do you mean?
Oh, it's...
the worst.
Yeah, the worst.
And when I mean... We're talking about a movie in, what, mid-early 70s?
It wasn't just that. It was also her acting on screen when she was taking the cross.
She was taking the cross and shoving it into her stuff and saying... Oh, you know what? I won't even say on this podcast what she was saying. It is that bad. And,
it's uncomfortably bad.
It's uncomfortably bad. So they did a great job of making her say the worst stuff because, oh my God, she did.
Unbelievably taboo in the 70s for that kind of language.
Oh, this was the 70s. Nothing had ever come out. I could imagine, without even knowing it, I'm sure, that people were leaving. Multiple people would watch that movie and then leave the theater.
No doubt.
It was so extreme, so crazy. Definitely worth watching that movie if you haven't seen it.
I can tell you I will probably never watch it.
All right, thanks I'm glad you like the suggestion.
And here's why, though.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Because you haven't watched a single movie we told you to watch so far.
I get I get
'Cause they're
scared by movies and I don't enjoy it.
Oh God, then don't watch this
Like,
movie.
I don't like.
Then
like
don't
the,
watch
like
this
The
movie.
Grudge, or like some of those more modern scary, The Ring and stuff like that. Just like
The Grudge is a Disney movie compared to The Exorcist.
and it just like they get to me, and I just like I don't enjoy that. That's not the emotional response I want from movies.
I don't really watch-
Kudos to the producers and like all of that I recognize, but just like
You better recognize.
I don't enjoy it.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense. Modern diagnosis of possession. So possessions by demons have been documented and even recorded through the last several centuries. I was actually going to, get some audio clips.
I was actually going to bring in a possessed person to interview, but
I figured that was a little bit too campy for me to have a bunch of demon-sounding audio. There's no question what is happening to some of these people is unusual and physiologically difficult to explain. However, as science and medicine improve, we've been able to study the minds of the patients that suffer from these types of experience, quote-unquote, possessions. Something called dissociative identity disorder, previously known as multiple personality disorder, is the current diagnosis that helps to add some science to what is happening in the brain of these patients. Childhood trauma, PTSD, substance abuse, or other mental health problems can cause DID to occur. So they have real diagnoses and prognoses and can monitor the brains of these people that are suffering these things. And it's physiologically, you can watch. I mean, scientists can watch the different parts of the brain fire up when a new personality kicks in. It is creepy as fuck, but it happens.
Wild. Didn't a bunch of people from that cast like die in horrific ways as well?
There's a couple movies throughout the centuries that have that. That's one of them.
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist was another.
Poltergeist
I would have
is the
got to
one.
it, but Ron wanted to talk over me. So I don't
Well,
know.
you were trying to say Exorcist was it, and I don't think it was. I think
No,
it was
wasn't.
Poltergeist specifically.
For
you,
sure
were-
gonna say,
you were about to
Poltergeist
say
almost made this list.
you were
motherfucker.
about to say the wrong thing. That's all I know. I'm just kidding. I don't know that. I was just being a dick.
Oh, wow, you said it for me.
Fight.
Number 7.
Number 7.
All right, so this one's gonna be hard. You ready?
That's what she said. Werewolf?
There we go. Got to give it to
That's
Ron.
fine, yeah,
you
it's
got
totally
it.
fine.
Yeah, it was
For you did.
really close.
Everything's made up and the points don't matter.
Are you talking about a specific movie too, or just werewolves?
No. So the topic of the whole show is the general monsters of Halloween and their origins and
Because
where
if
they
you
came
want
from.
a scary ass '80s movie about werewolves, The Howling.
Oh yeah, the Howling. That's
Fuck, that movie was scary as shit.
good. That was pretty good. Tonight, as we record this episode, it is a full moon. This close to Hallows Eve with a full moon could only mean one thing. Publix is running a buy one get one special on Pabst Blue Ribbon. Let's go, boys. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice. I
it's-
was like, did you actually write that down?
I did write that down.
You wrote down the joke?
It's
Like you
werewolves.
pre-wrote a joke. You're
I
like
did
a
pre-write a
professional now. Said we aren't produced.
Fuck that Star Trek nerd. He's really got under my skin, though. All right.
Yeah, he did. And
Werewolves-
it's fun to make fun of him.
Yes, it is.
Because clearly he's never going to listen again to know.
What if he's one of our new council members? Like, I'm kind of hurt, guys.
We have more chance of insulting an Amish person than we have him.
Werewolves, aka lycanthrope, are a staple in our cultural. God, I'm gonna start the whole thing over. Werewolves, aka lycanthrope, are a staple in our culture associated with Halloween, but also just the normal cycle of the moon's visible phases to the observers on Earth. So it means it's not just a Halloween character that comes out. It's also something that happens every 28 days or whatever the moon cycle is, at least in lore. Most people believe werewolves are a creation from the medieval or early modern periods as a result of superstition around magic and witchcraft. However, werewolves are much older in folklore than that. Werewolves are humans that involuntarily, sometimes voluntarily, depending on which fantasy book or movie you're watching, but they involuntarily shapeshift into wolf-like beasts only at night, and traditionally only when the visible full moon is present to them as the observer. They become ravenous, carnivorous eating machines with no morality for what they consume. Animals, humans, children, it doesn't matter. They're going to eat everything that's out there. After their eating binge is complete, they return to their human form. If bitten by a werewolf, you will and you survive,
yeah.
you go through a metamorphosis and forever are plagued with the same ailment as your attacker.
I said The Howling as a scary movie because it is scary, but I skipped the most obvious 80s werewolf movie.
Teen Wolf.
Oh, that's actually a great movie. But
Michael J. Fox.
American Werewolf in London.
I heard Michael J. Fox was going to consider not taking that role. He was a little shaky about it.
Oh, I knew you. That's why I was cringing
I saw
before
the
you
cringe.
finished. I was like, he's gonna say some horrible joke that he shouldn't say.
I'm such a dick.
That was a good song, though, right?
Thanks, Rush Limbaugh, for your shitty Michael J. Fox jokes.
What? I'm not the first person to do Michael J. Fox jokes. Everybody does
now
Michael
you're
J.
the
Fox
second,
jokes.
but good job.
Oh, all right. Well, Michael...
and the only one who's still alive.
Mr. Fox... Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Mr. Fox, if you're listening, I apologize. Origin. The earliest surviving example of man-to-wolf transformation is found in the Epic of Gilgamesh from around 2100 BC. However, the werewolf as we know it first appeared in ancient Greece and Rome in poetic and philosophical texts. 425 BC, Greek historian Herodotus, who makes a return to Twisted 10 Airwaves. We've talked about Herodotus in the past, specifically the Atlantis, I think, conversation. Anyway, Herodotus described Nuri, a nomadic tribe of magical men who would change into wolves for several days out of each year. 380 BC, Greek philosopher, you guys might have heard of this guy, Plato,
Once or twice.
tells a story
Played
about,
with Plato.
tells a story about the, quote, protector turned tyrant, unquote, when referring to the god Zeus, known as Lycian Zeus or Wolf Zeus. The story goes that he who tastes... Oh, this is a quote from that. The story goes that he who tastes but one bit of human entrails minced with those of other victims is inevitably transformed into a wolf. And then Asia, this is a cool little side reference here. Asian cultures, which usually are not associated with our Western cultures of these types of myths and lore and fantasy, Asian cultures actually have similar folklore. This isn't a joke. I know. I see your mind already working, Ron. They have how it translates for theirs are were-tigers and were-leopards. So they do have this in their history as well. Modern medical diagnosis. Lycanthropy is a medical disorder in which the patient believes they're a wolf or some other non-human animal. So it's a mental disorder that people are,
Think they're a werewolf?
diagnosed with. They think
Probably
they're a
there's no
werewolf.
better werewolf movie than Twilight. Just kidding.
Man.
Had to
This
throw that
show
out
is
there.
a better story than Twilight.
I actually like those movies, but whatever.
They
Kiss my ass.
weren't bad.
They entertain me. My wife loves them. I've watched them with her a bunch of times.
It's for me. It's more drama than substance. All right, it's too much drama for me. The sci-fi part of the show, like the sparkly skin and shit, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, nothing
But-
wrong with putting a spin on something that ain't real anyway.
No, I don't discredit them. They nailed it for the audience they were going after, which was the 13-year-old
Stephanie
girls,
Meyer.
which is why Ron likes it. So.
Stephanie Meyer specifically, when you say they.
Whoever.
Yeah.
Whoever.
The writer
and
of
producers
the
of the
Twilight
movies and directors.
Dude, that book
and stuff.
launched an entire genre of teen paranormal love, paranormal romance. It went from there was nothing to there was like rows and rows of that stuff at the bookstore.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
I don't
it
denounce
launched,
its popularity. And
yeah.
its fame. I got it. I completely understand that. I disagree with the level of drama versus the level of
No, I got
content of the.
I don't know that I didn't read the book, so I don't know that the books read the same way as the movie follows. I mean, it could be different. Yeah.
Number 6.
Number 6.
Here's your clue. Brains.
Zombies.
Damn, Josh,
Very
going. I
good.
think you're not one ahead again.
I was actually about to say Plants vs. Zombies. That's the first thing that popped in my head when I heard brains.
It hits home.
Zombies have stuck to popular culture for the last more than 60 years through books, plays, radio, television shows, and movies. They're undeniably one of the most quintessential monsters humanity has ever created. But do they have a physiological background based in science and medicine? Maybe. A zombie, according to pop culture and folklore, is usually either a reawakened corpse with ravenous appetite or someone bitten by another zombie infected with the, quote, zombie virus. Zombies are usually portrayed as strong but robotic beings with rotting flesh. Their only mission is to feed. They typically don't have conversations, although some may grunt a little bit.
I typically don't have conversations.
I'm a zombie in the mornings, that's for damn sure. Origin. Ancient Greeks are among the first recorded civilizations to have a possible belief in zombies, or at least that their dead could come back to life. Archaeologists have discovered many ancient graves where the deceased were pinned down with boulders or other heavy objects, presumably preventing the dead from getting up because they had these giant boulders and stuff on them. I know your ties, Josh, to with what your wife has done in the past to this one part of the world. So hopefully I do it justice. I know you, when I brought this one up, you were thinking about this part of the world.
Of course.
Haiti has some of the first documented writing about zombies, but not the way you may think. Originating in the 17th century during Haiti's West African slave trade to support sugar plantations, the life, or rather afterlife, of a zombie represented the horrific plight of their slavery. So what they're saying is once you became a slave in this sugar plantation business, you might as well just be a walking, dead guy at that point, because they were treated so bad. Voodoo is a religion based in West Africa and practiced throughout Haiti, the Caribbean, Brazil, the American South, like Louisiana, a few parts here, and other places with African heritage. Many people who follow voodoo believe that our pop culture depiction of zombies is a myth, but have an interesting twist to the zombie lore. In voodoo, there are practitioners known as bokors, and forgive me if I mispronounce that, who have the ability to review a human after death. I might have wrote that wrong. Review a human after death. It's what I meant to write is something like revive. I put review. Yeah, my bad. They use herbs, shells, fish, animal parts, bones, and other objects to create concoctions, including, quote, zombie powders, which contain tetrodotoxin. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
You do know what tetrodotoxin is?
I know it as the extract of a flower.
Oh, no. In this case, it is a deadly neurotoxin found in pufferfish. Yep. And also...
It's found in zombie semen.
It's also... there's a sushi... prepared from, I think it's either from a pufferfish or from a fish that also contains the same tetrodotoxin that, if not prepared correctly, could kill the consumer of this particular sushi. It's kind of cool. Pufferfish and some other marine species. That toxin is known medically currently to cause difficulty walking, mental confusion, and respiratory problems. Bing, bing, bing. We're all three on top of what is your stereotypical zombie. There are even several credible reports in medical journals where people have been pronounced dead, then buried, only to show back up months or years later. Ironically, these people were from Haiti. The two particular that I read about were from Haiti. Look up the case of Clairvius Narcissi of the British medical journal The Lancet for more information if you want to read about that. But it's amazing. These people died, got buried, and then one lady came back like 2 years later. This guy that I just said came back like 18 years later, but he was like mental in his, he was out of his gourd, but he was kind of like a zombie.
Perhaps the more obvious answer to why that happened was it was buried in Pet Cemetery. Not this stupid zombie shit that could never happen. Definitely Pet Cemetery.
What? Just let it burn. just let him burn.
But what's somebody else's favorite zombie movies?
You caught me off guard. So I loved The Walking Dead when it first came out.
I've never seen. I haven't seen that
when
show
it was
yet.
about zombies. You mean
when it was about zombies and didn't turn into a drama? Again, I stopped watching it after about season 3. I stopped watching it. I'm like, this is they're not doing zombie shit. They're doing more drama shit, more relationships.
When the zombies stopped mattering.
It becomes more intellectual than I get it.
Yeah. What?
I said it becomes more intellectual. I get it.
Nice attempt at a joke there, Ron.
A dig.
My favorite, I think, has to have been the Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead, like the old 70s, classic one. Yeah,
that was fantastic.
I love World War Z. I like what is it?
Legends of the Fall.
I am Legend of the Fall.
I am Legend
is good.
I'm gonna be this guy for a second. Have you read World War Z?
It was Max Brooks, right?
I forget who wrote it.
I have not.
So the movie, okay, so let's start that differently. The book is about the zombie outbreak around the world, right? The movie is about one section of the book. It follows one person. The book is all over the place. You go from a child in one country to a military member in another country, and you get all these perspectives. That book, it was there were points in it where I had to stop reading, not because I was like scared or something, but because it was done so well. There were things in there that were so emotionally driving for me that I was like, I'm sick to my stomach. I had to like step away.
Wow,
yeah. Interesting. No, I've never actually read it.
There are a few times I rarely get on the pedestal of the book is better than the movie, but the book is so much more than the movie because
I didn't like I like the Brad Pitt movie, but I think they could have done so much more with
It was a cool flick.
I love the chattering teeth zombie towards the end. The guy that was like chattering his teeth. That was really cool.
I can't believe you and I, Ron, of all people in this whole fucking world, are not saying our absolute quintessential favorite zombie movie arcs of all time.
No idea.
Resident Evil.
Oh yeah, Resident Evil, of course.
That's the T-virus, baby.
Yes.
That is like...
Good old Alice.
Yeah. Milla Jovovich will forever be one of my favorite actresses because she did such an amazing job in those movies.
Yeah, those are fun movies.
Those are fantastic movies.
Those were good.
All right, so you're going to listen to a little bit of True Phonic here in studio. Oh, what? Well, this is like a 30-second build-up, so we got plenty of time. What's up?
We got to talk about Manscaped and stuff. We'll do it when we come back. Don't worry about it. I like where this...
Should we talk about shaving our balls to this awesome music, or just talk about it on the other side of the break?
We'll talk about it when we come back, yeah.
Only if you lower your tone a little bit. All right.
Yeah, baby.
This is True Phonic. This is called No One Sees. This is from RDS. They're live recording over at RDS in Orlando. So check this out. New to us, but not new to them. This was recorded in 2019. Fantastic song. Discord will be hanging out with you guys at the end of the song in the break. Everybody else, we'll see you back here in just a couple of minutes.
I'll try to sound like I know the words I'm saying out loud, and hold it down. For a second I could be profound. Hey, would I try to find someone to tell that lately life's been hell? Oh, there's no one else around. But I don't mean to complain. Oh, I never felt this way. Oh, as long as I've been around. Now that no one sees that I can barely breathe. Oh yes, it is my disease. Pain that no one sees. No one sees. No one sees. Someone that makes sense to me. I think about it endlessly. Oh, but the pain alone that sets me free. Bro, let's try to find someone to tell that lately life's been hell. Oh, but there's no one else around. Well, I don't mean to complain, but I never felt this way. Oh, as long as I've been around. Now that no one sees that I can barely breathe. Oh yes, it is my disease. The pain that no one sees. Now it's way too hard for me can barely breathe. Oh yes, it is my disease, the pain that no one sees. Well, if no one sees that I can barely breathe. Oh yes, it is my disease, the pain that no one sees.
Welcome back to the Twisted 10. That was a fun break for us here in studio. Man. We got a great sound drop, live recording sound drop of Ron that we're going to be airing in a little while. But that you just heard from Truphonic. You just heard "No One Sees," recorded live at RDS in Orlando. RDS is like a they don't need a plug. They're big enough on their own. But it's a cool recording place for local musicians and local artists.
What does this stand for?
It's actually the guy's name.
Okay.
It's like his last name is like De Silva, so RDS, like Randolph Richard, whatever his name is, De Silva or De Salvatore or something like that. But RDS is a cool place over in Orlando. Our friends, a couple of our friends' bands have recorded over at RDS. Oh, you want that? Is it ready? You want me to do it now? All right, so here's the soundbite. Here's the soundbite.
Oh man, it's a bloodbath in here. There has got to be a better way to get my dagger clean and shiny safer than this. This is what I used to deal with when I cut myself shaving before I knew about Manscaped. Thank you, Manscaped, for keeping my dagger slick and ready for whenever the night takes me. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code TWISTED10 at checkout.
So Josh said during the break, because we didn't do our Manscaped promo before going to the break, that's my fault. But we needed a scream sound effect, so Ron volunteered to scream. But I think Ron misunderstands screams with cum. I don't. That was an orgasm. That really.
Yeah,
that was great.
That's not what I sound like, I swear.
I say, what does your wife think of your sex noises? Is it?
She thinks this. I'm not going to play it all again.
So that was supposed to be someone being stabbed. Apparently, I didn't do a very good job.
You were getting stabbed by something, all right.
I was stabbing something.
Yes, my slick and ready dagger.
Oh, goodness. Later in the show, before number 1, we are going to be giving away our last item from Manscaped for this go-around. Just to throw this out there, we're kind of proud of this a little bit. So Manscaped reevaluates our sponsorships on a 3-month basis. And thanks to you, the listeners, as well as our council members, their return on investment with us is enough to pick us up for another 3 months. So we have another 3-month worth of block advertisements from Manscaped. So Manscaped, thank you very much. But more importantly, to our listeners of the Twisted 10, thank you guys and girls for using the product and purchasing the product. It's a cool product.
Let's keep those balls smooth, everybody.
Yes, I like it.
Those ads are just getting better.
Oh yeah,
just getting better and better.
Because when they're smooth, you'll get to sound like. God, the more I hear it, especially the end part. The end part is really what sets it off.
Oh yeah,
it's bad. Just bad.
Ron was cry laughing in the studio after we played it back for him.
Not when I did it. When I did it, I was just like, after I did it, we both said, it kind of sounded like it busted a nut. And, but when you played it, I was like, oh my God.
And that's kind of one of the benefits too of becoming a listener that gets involved with Discord. That was 20 minutes maybe of banter and fun stuff in between breaks that we just hung out with our Discord listeners and chatted it up with them. And then they got to hear the studio live. We keep the mics rolling during the breaks, so they got to hear the whole.
So sometimes we still got to do stuff, but that's. All right, it's a good time.
So welcome back to this episode is a council-inspired episode. Thank you, Fluff, from the Twisted Council. This is the origins of the top 10 scary monsters, kind of around Halloween, but really in general. But this is the origin stories from where they came from. Number 10 was Frankenstein's monster. Number 9 was witches. Number 8 was demons. Number 7 was werewolves. And number 6 was zombies. You know that there's still some Halloween characters and some scary horror style characters that we haven't covered yet.
Correct.
You know it. You guys ready for number 5?
Ready.
Number 5.
I have no sound or statement or quote to use for this
do
one.
you need more sound effects from yours
No,
truly?
this one is going to
Probably
be.
not.
This one will never leave the mixer.
Yeah.
Number 5's clue for you guys is 2 words. Brendan Fraser.
Mummy.
Mummy. There you go. I think you guys are tied again. I think the score is now tied.
No, I got double points in there somewhere. That means I'm winning, right?
But that's between you two. I'm not keeping track of score. All right. So yeah, mummies is number 5. So there's a distinction that needs to be made here. A mummy is a dead human or animal that has a post-mortem ritual performed to their corpse in an effort to preserve, accidentally or intentionally, the soft tissue, organs, and skeleton on the subject. Our Halloween mummy is possibly a combination of that subject mixed with a zombie's ability to reincarnate and kind of reanimate, really. So our mummies really...
You said mommy.
our mummies really zombies with wrappings. So this is, and for those of you who already know these answers to what I'm about to reveal, this is like an age-old debate in the horror fan, people's genres. The people that love horror classics, this is a constant debate that goes back and forth.
I say no because if you get bit by a mummy and stay alive, you don't become a mummy. So I say it's different than a zombie.
Yeah, there you go. There's one way.
I think I got that from Big Bang.
Origin. The English word for mummy is derived from medieval Latin mumia, a borrowing of the medieval Arabic word, which also sounds the same but spelled differently as mumia, which is meant an embalmed corpse. So quite literally, its origin of the name comes from what it was, an embalmed corpse. The oldest dated and recorded evidence of a mummy was from Nevada, of all places. So here in the U.S., it was called the Spirit Cave Mummy. It was dated at 9,400 years old and considered believed to be a Native American. Northern Chile and southern Peru have mummies dating back around 7,000 BC. Libya has mummies from around 3,500. Egypt, and likely the best preserved mummies, were dated between 3,000 and 1,500 BCE.
Yeah, I was going to say they did like when they find mummies still, obviously they find mummified bodies, they did a pretty good fucking job. Like they're fairly
the best preserved are Egyptians. The Egyptian process was the best.
That they're using, I don't know, how they even figured out the chemical technology, if you will, the information to know what to do. I mean, they don't have any way to test that. It could have been just pure luck, or it could have been the aliens.
Their quote, "Are mummy zombies," unquote. The "Are mummy zombies" debate is pretty prevalent in pop culture, and the two often get grouped together. However, there are differences between mummies and zombies. You named one of them. You get bit by a mummy,
do I get points
you just
for
get
that?
annoyed.
Oh, okay.
No, you don't get points. Mummies do not have relentless aggressiveness, so they aren't always out trying to kill or whatever.
So when do they want to kill? Just when stuff kind of crosses their path?
It depends. It depends on the lore that you're going with. That'll reveal itself in this next one. Or
okay.
Maybe the last
I'm jumping
one.
ahead.
Yeah, the third one. Mummies are not revived through a scientific process like theoretically in lore how a zombie would reanimate itself. Rather, they are traditionally revived through a curse. Mummies in their lore will return to their place of resting once the curse is broken or fulfilled. Give them back their special gem, vacate their premises, basically restore their order, and a mummy goes back to sleep. So the differences between mummies and zombies, they're both reanimated corpses. Yes, we got that. But zombies are hungry for blood, brains, whatever. They're just craving food. Mummies, on the other hand, I don't know if I said mummies or zombies. Zombies are the ones that are just out to eat your brains.
Yeah.
Mummies, on the other hand, are only awaken if they get disturbed from their ritual that you've interrupted. So if you broke or unraveled their curse or something, that's when a mummy will come out and fuck you up. But yeah, that's the difference.
Man, we just got a little tidbit about mummies from just a free Discord live stream. From one of our council elders, actually. The British used to grind up mummies for tea and coffee. You can get mummy pharmaceutical drinks. How fucked up is that? I don't have any more context than that, but I
bet that shit gets you.
He dropped some links.
Nice.
Really?
It's a Smithsonian link too, so like it's.
Is that? I would assume that's not modern day practice. I assume that's probably old British or old English traditions. But
More to follow.
oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Copy that. All right, we ready to move on to number 4?
Yep. Number 4.
2 words again to guess what number 4 is. Death personified.
The Grim Reaper.
Bam! Got it. Nailed it.
Excellent.
Gotta think Halloween there. I'm still fucking choked up from laughing at you coming
I
earlier.
am too. Hey, laughing at you. Did you literally say laughing at you coming earlier?
Mommy, come on, it's it. Yes, that's what that was.
Okay, I'm
right.
sorry. Before we go into Grim Reaper, we got an
Yeah.
answer. It ended as recently as the 1960s, and that's because they ran out.
Of mummies?
Yeah,
They
ran
should
out
just
of
start mummifying, like, people now so they can have tea 50 years from now.
You need the aging process. I think a little more than 50. This
Aged.
mummy has been, this flavor has been aged for 1,700 years.
Would you like to try a 1942 mummy tea?
No, I don't take anything sooner than the 7th century. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Sorry,
That was my best British aristocrat I could give you.
You did pretty good.
I'll buy it.
All right, so the Grim Reaper. This eerie figure is death personified, a skeletal form shrouded in a black robe and carrying a farming tool known as a scythe to reap or harvest human souls from Earth. We've all seen the pictures of what the Grim Reaper looks like. He's been in popular culture, been in TV shows. We all know what the Grim Reaper looks like. Origin. Many cultures and religions have a figure, spirit, god, or person who is damned for eternity as the courier of souls after their mortal death to their destination in their afterlife. The Grim Reaper first made his appearance during the Black Death in the 14th century Europe during the plague. It is estimated that about 1/3 of Europe's entire population perished as a result of this pandemic. 1/3. Think about that for a minute.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's 100. If it was here in the U.S., it's 100 million deaths to equate to what the Black Death, the 14th century, went through.
There was something like 10 million people in all of Europe back then, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
granted.
it's still a lot of people. Don't get me wrong, but it's like.
But also, what
so
the
wild.
difference was, they didn't have the ability to commute like we do now.
This is
So
true.
a
There's all them
pandemic to
rats.
spread is considerably harder then than it is now. Where was I? With some areas of the continent suffering greater losses than others. So some areas hit more than 1/3. The original outbreak of the plague occurred during 1347 to 51, and the outbreaks then occurred several other times after that. So clearly, death was something that was that all surviving Europeans had on their mind, and it is not surprising that they conjured an image to represent it.
Imagine 1/3 of everybody you know dead.
Yeah,
I
gone.
mean, that's nuts.
Yeah.
That's like almost, if I had to get it, it's like Thanos level shit.
Yeah.
Do I get to pick? What do you mean? Sorry, what?
Very good. For my sake, I'm just gonna say no. You don't get to pick.
Skeletons are symbolic of death, representing the human body after it has decayed. The robe is thought to be reminiscent of the robes that religious figures of the time wore when conducting funerary services. The scythe, is it scythe or sickle?
It's scythe.
Scythe. Okay,
The
scythe.
C is silent.
The scythe is an apt image taken from agricultural practices of the time. Harvesters used scythes to reap and harvest crops that were ready to be plucked from the earth. Ironically, tie into plucked
Fear
from
the
earth.
Reaper.
Damn it. So yeah, death, or the Grim Reaper, more commonly known as.
Everything
But
I
yeah.
know about the Grim Reaper, I learned from Sons of Anarchy. I'm just kidding.
I had a weird experience when I was a teenager that had to do with a figure of death, a figure of the Grim Reaper showing up in the weirdest of all places. I was with my girlfriend at the time. I was 16. I think she was 17 or 18 at the time. And we were in our apartment complex gym. All right. So it's in West Melbourne. It's a nice little gym, but it's an apartment complex gym. Nothing special. Nobody else is in there. Just her and I working out, not doing anything bad. Ron, don't look at me like that.
Oh, damn.
Not that good of a
I
story.
thought it was an after show story happening.
And the lights flickered in the room. There was a storm outside, so that's not something that should really shock anybody. But then a really super bright light appeared inside the room, almost like somebody had like a really powerful, like police style flashlight, and it just shined in the room just for a second when the lights were out, and then turned back. All the lights came back to normal. But during that second, both her and I saw the exact same thing And I'm sure it was a play from shadows outside or maybe a lightning strike that cast a shadow, but both her and I saw a perfect silhouette of what can only be described as the Grim Reaper. And it freaked us out at the time.
Yeah, it would have freaked me out, especially as a teenager. Or,
yeah.
You know.
Applying logic to it now, I'm sure it was some sort of lighting thing that happened that caused that to appear. But she was a very, very superstitious person and did not care for it. She freaked her out for a couple of weeks.
That would freak me out.
Number 3.
I want to take a moment and interrupt real quick. I want to give a shout out to our council elders.
Oh, nice. I like that too.
Ron, you have actually borrowed my Big Print Idiot list.
Oh,
Can I borrow that, please?
Sorry, I thought by now you'd have known it, but you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's true.
Kidding. Dude,
That's
I'm
true.
just kidding.
You reached for it earlier tonight, so.
But I wanted it back because I wrote the names of our council elders on the back, which I have not memorized yet. But a big thank you to T, to Thing2110, to Tycho, and
What?
to Fluff.
Fluff?
Just happened seconds ago.
Just seconds ago.
Fuck yeah, Fluff.
And there is one other council elder who has not given me a name to give them credit on the show. So to you, I see you. Thank you.
I see you.
We appreciate it. I just please reach out. I would love to give you the credit that you are due as a council elder. I just don't know if you want me to use your real name or not, which is all I have to work with.
Hey, and there's a tie-in there. Fluff, just, tell your sister to keep one of those keychains aside for you. Save us the shipping cost.
And I think the biggest advantage of becoming an elder is we'll automatically put you in the organization of Anne without mining antes. So I just want to add that as a benefit.
Really? Wait, did we discuss this? I don't remember that.
We
Hang
don't
on a
need to
minute.
discuss it. It's a good idea.
Is that set in stone? All right.
Anne spoke to him in particular.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
she did.
Yeah. Anne spoke to me tonight, too, and she said, whatever you do, make sure you get a drop of Ron having an orgasm on air. I said, yes, ma'am.
Dude, that's great. That's great. I'm surprised that didn't happen.
awesome.
I'm surprised that didn't happen last week.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You could hear Ron get uncomfortable last week. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
I was so proud. I
You
listened
can
back to that
hear my
episode.
embarrassment.
It was
I
wonderful.
listened back to that episode again. I depicted
I
it very
haven't
well.
listened back yet.
I'm very proud of you. Your wife would be proud, Ron. You had titties right in your face, and you made eye contact. You never broke eye contact. You did not disrespect your wife. You looked at the eyes of the girl, not anything else.
Yeah,
I was very proud of
I promise you, if my wife listens back to this show, she won't be happy with just that one sentence. Your wife would be very proud of you. You had titties in your face. Hard stop.
It's true.
You're in trouble, Ron.
Good thing none of our wives listen to the show, though. Huh?
Yes, my wife definitely doesn't listen to the show.
Does Margaret listen to the show, Josh? Does she?
No.
Okay.
But she would be disappointed at me if I maintained eye contact when there were titties in my face.
Oh,
so
all right.
It's the inverse.
He got one of those wives.
It's the inverse on my side.
What's wrong with
What
you?
the fuck? Why would you? Didn't you pull out
titties
$1?
out.
Number 3. Fluff, thank you very much, by the way.
Thank you, Fluff.
All right, number 3. Here's your clue. This is going to be a quick one. I want to suck your blood.
Vampire.
Dracula.
Vampires is correct. Dracula is
I always
a
go
vampire.
super specific, yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Nosferatu.
A vampire is a creature from
Edward. Oh, sorry.
Edward.
What, Cullen?
Oh,
Yeah, the
Cullens is-
Twilight. Yeah, Edward Cullen, the Cullens. Yeah, you don't know? Nothing?
All right. A vampire is a creature from folklore that survives by feeding on the vital essence, generally in the form of blood, of the living.
Or they just drink True Blood.
Or
When they're
True Blood.
Yeah. They're
God,
trying to.
such a gross. Okay. I love True Blood.
Sookie Stackhouse.
Oh,
It was good until there was fairies.
Well, Sookie was a fairy. I agree. They kind of jumped the shark.
It just
I
got
have
a little
only
weird.
seen the first 4 episodes of that show.
Oh, I'm sorry,
by the way.
spoiler.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I will eventually go back
Welcome
and
to
watch
2008.
I know. It's my own fault. If I haven't seen it by now, fuck off, Ron.
That's Ron's fault, not yours. Origin. The word vampire or vampire first appeared in English in 1732 in news reports about vampire, quote, epidemics in Eastern Europe. This may have simply been medical ignorance to common diseases or causes of death that left the corpses in a state of decay that appeared to have been drained of blood and discolored. One of those types of diseases is called, or disabilities, is called porphyria. Porphyria is a liver disorder.
Sounds like you're making that up.
No, none of this is twisted. Don't worry. Porphyria is a liver disorder that could lead to this and was rampant in Europe in this time. The French, Germans, and other European countries had similar incidences and documented vampires as causes of death. Good old Vlad the Impaler, you know he's going to get another reference in the Twisted 10 lore. We've talked about him in the past on a couple of different episodes and gone into pretty explicit detail on some of his atrocities during his life. I won't get too deep into him, but we'll talk about him a little bit. He lived between 1428 and 1477. Mind you, the first appearance of vampire didn't come till 1732. So 300 years prior to that is when Vlad the Impaler existed. So kind of an interesting little twist on this. He's going to get a reference here as probably the very first vampire ever. We've talked about Vlad III, to be specific, in the past on some of our shows, and his folklore as well as the actual history. Both his folklore and history are amazing. The first association between Vlad Dracul, aka Dracula, and vampires was in Bram Stoker's Dracula in the late 1800s.
Yes.
His reign, this is not Bram Stoker's, but this is Vlad. His reign included the horrific practice of impaling his victims on stakes for all to see. None were immune to his torturous death sentence. Men, women, and children all died to Vlad's orders. Vlad has been depicted dining among the victims of his impaled. His gruesome rule and immoral forms of torture and killing, linked with his thirst for blood, have led folklore to depict him as the original Dracula. Kind of tie into his last name as well, Dracul. Modern day medical diagnosis. Clinical vampirism, or Reinfeld syndrome, is a mental illness characterized by an obsession with drinking one's own blood, autovampirism, and the blood of other humans or animals, called zoophagia.
Is that how vampires beat off? They just drink their own blood? Vampire masturbation?
I guess.
That was bad. Can we edit that joke out?
No, I'll replace it with this.
No.
All right.
God, no.
Clinical vampirism is not recognized in the DSM-ITTR 2000. If you're medical, you know what that means. As a separate
the
separate
DSM-5, and I think it might be up to DSM-6 now.
DSM-5, yeah.
I think. Oh, is it still under the 5?
I don't know.
That's the book of pretty much the. I mean, I hate to say it because I know I'm saying it wrong. It's the book of mental illness, if you will.
Gotcha.
Psychological.
I did say DSM-IV.
Yeah. IV,
I read the Roman numerals.
DSM-4. Yeah, I think they're on 5 now, 5 or 6.
And peer-reviewed literature and research are scarce, although clinical vampirism has been mentioned in psychological and fictional literature for many, many years.
Yeah, great vampire movies. I'm thinking about, I don't know if anybody's seen the original Dracula, but it is good. The original Nosferatu is cool. I know there's a show now.
What was the Brad Pitt? Help me out here.
Didn't he? The one with Brad Pitt and
Interview
Tom
with a
Cruise?
Vampire.
Yeah,
Yes.
Interview with a Vampire.
Fucking great movie.
That's a book from Anne Rice, I think.
Yeah.
That's an Anne Rice book.
What I liked about that movie so much is that it was about vampires, right? But it wasn't about like the power struggles of vampires. It's just about like we live forever. And this is the shit that we deal with as like creatures that don't die. Yeah, it wasn't just like we're vampires, we eat blood. Oh, scary, sexy people.
That was one of the first appearances of one of my favorite actresses. Who was the little girl in that movie? She was also in Spider-Man later.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember her name.
See your face.
Yeah.
All right, come on, Discord, hook us up with that name.
I can't remember her name at all.
It's on the tip of her tongue.
Oh, Kirsten Dunst?
Oh, bam! There you go. Fucking Ron gets a plug bell on that one. But yeah, that was one of her first appearances. She's adorable in this movie too. So if you ever want to see a cool vampire movie with an adorable, cute 5-year-old or how old she was, Kirsten Dunst, that's your movie. That's your movie. She burns to death. Spoiler.
Yeah, another movie I really like. I'm always pulling out the old 80s movies, of course. This, believe it or not, was a made-for-TV movie, but back then made-for-TV movies were actually done better than they are now compared to motion pictures. Salem's Lot.
Never saw that.
Oh yes, yeah, that's a fun movie. They've been tinkering with making a new Salem's Lot forever. I know eventually they're going to break down and do it because they've done 2 Pet Cemeteries, and a few other. They've done a.
And let's face it, one Pet Cemetery was enough.
Yeah, well, I liked the first one, but I didn't really like the second one that much. And there was even a sequel to the first one. I didn't like that either. But
in a world
they're
where we've
due
got like
to redo
6
that
Chuckies,
movie. Salem's Lot is a great vampire movie. Really is. Really like it. You ever seen it, Josh? No.
Well,
but what does come out here in a couple days?
Dune. Fuck yeah.
Oh, you can either go see it live in the theaters, or I'm gonna fucking use HBO Max. It's airing. It's dropping.
Yeah,
on
I
HBO
saw
Max
that it's going to be on HBO Max.
Oh, I am so excited for that.
I've actually debated making it one of my first forays out into a movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, we have a theater very close to where we live, which has
reclining seats,
reclining leather seats.
Oh, that's
cheap drinks. It's like in
Cinema World or something like that.
No, it's NGC.
NGC, that's what it is. Yeah, but it's the only one in Florida. I think you told me that. But
it is the only one in Florida.
But it's this kick-ass theater, leather recliner. I can lay all the way back.
Yeah, you can lay all the way back with the big seats, and so it's pretty cool.
My only problem with going to a place like that is I'll have the manager come tap on my shoulder. Sir, you're going to have to leave. Your snoring is louder than the THX soundtrack to the movie. Sorry.
And it's not real big theaters. I actually just went to see, well, we're getting off tangent. I just did go to see a movie of Venom 2 or Carnage. Venom Carnage.
That was
a good movie. Yeah, I did.
I've heard mixed.
I really liked it.
Cool.
Well, a lot.
I'm on board with it. I just want to watch animated fight scenes that are done well. So,
badass. Yeah, then it's your movie.
Number two.
Here's
your clue. Boo.
Ghost.
Bam.
Josh
is
won.
kicking your ass at this point.
He won. Yeah.
Yes, ghosts. This is very broad.
Oh, my love. Oh, sorry.
All right.
Not the movie Ghosts? Okay.
In folklore, a ghost is
Ditto.
the soul or spirit of a dead person or animal that can appear to the living. In ghost lore, descriptions of ghosts vary widely from an invisible presence to a translucent or barely visible wispy shapes to realistic lifelike forms. Since ancient times, ghost stories, tales of spirits who return from the dead to haunt the places they left behind, have figured prominently in the folklore of many cultures around the world. A rich subset of these tales involve historical figures ranging from queens and politicians, writers, gangsters, like Biggie? No. Many of whom
gangsters, not gangstas.
Many of whom died early, violent, and mysterious deaths. Origin. There are many references to ghosts in Mesopotamian religions. Again, Mesopotamia is we're talking 12,000 years ago, 15,000 to 12,000 years ago, depending on.
They believed in a lot of fun shit back then.
Oh yeah. Let me start that over. The many references back to Mesopotamian religions. The religions of Sumer, Babylon, Assyria, and other early states of Mesopotamia. Traces of these beliefs survive in the later Abrahamic religions that came to dominate the region. There was widespread belief in ghosts in ancient Egyptian culture as well. The Hebrew Bible contains a few references to ghosts associating spiritism with forbidden occultist activities. Reference number 9, witches, from this list when King Saul visits the witch of Endor to summon a spirit. Want to summon the ghost to help him win that battle that his son died in.
Should have called a Jedi.
Yeah. The Endor. The soul and spirit were believed to exist after death with the ability to assist or harm the living, and possibly of a second death. The ghosts could also die again in the spirit plane as well as their mortal deaths that they had on Earth. Over a period of more than 2,500 years, Egyptian beliefs about the nature of the afterlife evolved constantly. Many of these beliefs were recorded in hieroglyphic inscriptions, papyrus scrolls, and tomb paintings. The Egyptian Book of the Dead compiles some of the beliefs from different periods of ancient Egyptian history. Egypt, again, was 3000 BC. So, yes, a long fucking time ago, 5,000 years ago. However, it doesn't quite touch Mesopotamian era. Almost all religions have a similar belief of a sentient spirit that visits or torments the living. Many recordings from hieroglyphs, photographs, and video have been documented regarding the spiritual evidence of ghosts. While the scientific method cannot conclusively prove these to be true or accurate, it is often left to the interpretation of the observer for their own authenticity.
I think
you guys believe in ghosts?
No, not particularly. I've had weird shit happen in my life that I can't explain.
I remember the story about your mother and
it's a hanging plant. It's that's the big dramatic one.
And some boots that were missing or something like that.
Yeah, it's like weird shit that's happened. Like,
how do I remember that? But I can't remember my fucking name sometimes.
Whatever. The important details.
But you look like an Adam.
I think it was. I think this is a good time though to give some throw out to Tack. Some throw up to Tack.
I see where you're going with that.
Who has actively participated from the skeptic stance with our local paranormal society.
Yeah,
He's done like all kinds of cool investigations.
Space Coast Paranormal Society.
What it is.
Yeah.
It's turned up nothing. I mean, it's
wait, the Space Ghost.
Spoilers.
The Space Ghost. The Space Ghost.
I see what you're doing
Paranormal
there.
Society.
That's what they should call themselves.
Yes.
They even went to that place, the Rockledge Iceplex, which is supposed to be really haunted.
Yeah.
Ashley's restaurant up on
Ashley's
US
restaurant
1.
is in. We have a restaurant. What, maybe? Was it like 10 miles from here? Like how quick could you? 15 miles to get to Ashley's? Is it longer?
It's a little longer than that.
All right, so like 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So 20 minutes from here, there. If you look in books of hauntings, that Ashley's has been in there for years and years and years of supposed haunted places.
I shit you not. When I was considering,
I've been there several times. I've never seen shit.
When I was I walked into the bathroom, the women's bathroom where you're supposed to see it. I walked in there once. My wife at the time checked it to make sure there was nobody in there to see if I could. I wanted to experience it. Nothing.
But did you say Bloody Mary 5 times?
No.
Or Candyman?
Didn't say any of that.
No.
Shit.
Okay. Well, that's why you didn't see anything.
Hooga booga. I say that. Nothing's gonna.
Hooga booga.
Anyway, so when I bought this house, one of the houses, and Ron, you know this story because you were my broker at the time. One of the houses I was really considering, it was running a very close number 2 to this house, was a 110-year-old house here in Titusville over on the river. Had a really cool pool house and a pool, but it was small.
Yeah.
I almost bought that. One of the hang-ups on that house was that it also hit some of those registers for like ghost sightings in Florida.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's not like a popular landmark. It is considered you can't just go tear it down. If I bought the house, I couldn't just go tear it down. It's on some sort of registry of historical landmarks or some shit. I don't know. But the house, it's even got a plaque inside. But the house was apparently haunted, and my current wife was not very interested in buying a home that even had the possibility of being haunted.
I forgot about that house. That was a cool house.
That's a fucking awesome house.
So cool.
It was so small though. I'm so glad I didn't buy it because
it had
my son,
weird rooms that were real tiny.
Yeah, but everybody 100 years ago must have been 5'2".
Yeah, I know.
Because
my your son wouldn't have even
my
fit
son's
in
6'2". He's standing in the house and he's like leaning over, like I can't even see out the window unless I'm sitting on the floor. And he was true. When he couldn't see out of the second story windows just standing in there. He could see like the ground, but if he wanted to see the river, which is what you had a great view of, he couldn't. I'm glad I didn't buy that house. It's a really cool house, but it wasn't right for my family.
No, you bought the better house.
Was that the one that had like the sort of basement room that was filled in with concrete?
Yes, there was. Well, we don't know if it was filled in with concrete, but it had a concrete cover. So this house had a basement, but it was covered for access to turn off the access, probably because it was flooded. I mean, it was right there next to the river, so the what do you call it? The water table was probably up above where the basement was.
You literally found the 2 basement houses in all of Florida,
right?
Back to back.
No kidding. That would have been hard to do a podcast in if it was full of water or ghosts.
Yeah, it'd be more fun.
Be cool with ghosts.
Yeah,
kind of cool.
Get some EMP audio or whatever it is, ESP audio in the background.
What do they call that?
Funny joke, Josh.
The movie White Noise.
With ghosts.
Was it White Noise?
Yes. Is that the one with
radio signals?
Is that the one with Keaton?
Michael Keaton. Yes. Yeah. Where he can hear talking and it's so cool.
That's cool.
The movie had a pretty good ending though. They all moved out in the middle of nowhere and got rid of their cell phones, and life was wonderful again.
Was that I don't remember the end of that movie.
I barely remember that movie.
White Noise, the whole thing was like that ghosts were real, but they travel on radio waves, and there's a whole scene like one guy has tinfoil on every surface in his house and the door and stuff to keep the radio waves out. And the solution to the problem is everyone just kind of fucks off and goes in the middle of nowhere with like rip their radios out of their car and everything. There's just no radio access, and they just go to music festivals.
The irony of that is that even in the middle of nowhere, you're being bombarded with radio signals. Even if you can't pick them up on your cell phone or your FM radio, you're still being bombarded with radio signals from space. Even if we didn't have satellites, you're still being bombarded with radio signals from supernovas to black holes to whatever.
Yeah,
you're
from
still
the Big Bang.
Yeah, that's right. Background cosmic radiation, baby.
That's right.
All radio waves.
Yeah,
That would have really destroyed the plot, though.
It would have. That's a good point.
Yeah, you're right.
So on that theory, ghosts can travel the universe right in those radio waves.
Look at that. Fermi's paradox.
Fucking A.
Fuck Fermi. Just kidding.
I still don't like Fermi paradox, but that's okay.
Yeah.
All
Do
right.
you guys want to give some stuff away?
Let's do it. Let's
Not
give
some
away.
stuff. Give a thing away.
Our last official drawing for this round of drawings from Manscaped. Yeah.
That's true. This is our last small prize. If you're hearing this on Monday, October 25th, be sure to come to our free Discord live stream. I guess it would be tomorrow night.
Go to twisted10.com.
Go to twisted10.com. That'll
Easy
get you
link
all the
there.
links. It'll get you set up. Again, it's all free. You can make an account, come hang out for the live stream. Go into the announcements channel. There is a pinned message from August 3rd. It's got a ton of reactions on it. Hit any of them, and it will add your name to the drawing. That's literally all that you have to do. We're giving away a Manscaped's.
Well, but for that night, do they have to add a reaction, or are we just going to draw from the names in Discord?
Both.
I just completely broke your train of thought. I apologize.
Both. Yeah, go react to it, and you have to be present to win. That was the last thing that I need to say.
The 2-step process.
Yes, it is a 2-step process, but go sign up, come hang out. This will be, I guess, tomorrow night if you're hearing this, October 25th, 2021, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll have the live stream. Come hang out. During our break in the middle of the show, we're going to draw some names. We're going to hang out. It's going to be a good time. But we've got Manscaped's Lawnmower 4.0, and we have 2 Weed Whacker 4.0s. These are like $70 and $90 products before our discount, which is 20% with free worldwide shipping with code Twisted10 at checkout. Manscaped.com.
He says that in his sleep to his wife.
I do. Look at my list is upside down. I don't even need my script anymore.
All right, here we go. We're drawing the name.
Yep, so I'm going to draw a name. I updated it while Adam was going through the last number, so it is current for the live stream listeners as of like 10 minutes ago.
See what he did there, Ron? He just excused why he was paying no attention to number 2. That's what he did.
There you go.
Okay. All right.
And drum roll.
Tonight's winner...
Oh, wait, I put in a drum roll sound effect. Ready?
I thought you really had one. I was like waiting for it. No.
I was ready. All right, so tonight's winner is council member Carnage.
All right.
Hey,
congratulations,
Carnage.
dude.
So tonight we are giving you a crop reviver. This is the refreshing ball toner with active pH control. So you can control the pH on your balls.
I love controlling the on my balls.
The So reach out to one of us. Shoot me a message just with whatever name you want me to put on the package and your address.
Wow, we went into 8th grade mode.
He would like the name. He would like the name Josh Wilson put on his package. You know what I mean?
Man, we went into 8th grade mode.
We did.
Hardcore on that one.
So
Sorry
you know what?
about
Our
that.
listeners appreciate that because they all probably went there too. So they know it.
Package.
Package.
Well, cool. So, but yeah, shoot that over to me, and we'll get that in the mail. So after next week, real time, we're going to do the last giveaways. We're going to send everything out in a batch, our last 5 giveaways.
Dead giveaway.
5. No, a couple of those asked us to hold on to them. So 3, whatever. All of our giveaways are going out after next week's
There's the little
recording when
pile.
we have the full names. I'm going to toss this ball.
Let's just hold it because I will not catch it right now.
Just throw it in your lap.
Hey, we have a super local person in here that lives right by Ashley's.
Yes, we
Oh, really?
do.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That we had somebody that close by.
I will only say his Discord name because that is what he has given us as his public persona. It is DSqueeze321.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah, cool man.
So, but yeah. So congrats, Carnage. Carnage Carnival, and we'll get that out to you soon.
Number 1.
Number 1.
Thank you for going down this ride with me tonight, boys. This has been fun. I got to get a mic stand that doesn't make so much noise.
Yeah, wow, that was, we need to put some
It's
WD-40
ready,
on
right?
it. It's good for Halloween.
It is a good Halloween effect.
Yeah,
That's a
there
good
you
point.
go.
All right, I'm going to give you one. Well, it's 5 words, but I'm looking for the general term here for this. You guys ready? Number 1, origin of the monsters around Halloween. Clue is take me to your leader.
Aliens.
Bam. You guys tied on that one.
That means I win.
Does that mean Josh
I
wins?
beat him, but you still won anyway. Because you smoked me. I'm very disappointed in myself.
What are you, a mummy?
Yeah.
Extraterrestrial life is hypothetical life that may occur outside Earth and which does not originate on Earth. Such life might range from simple cellular life to intelligent beings and even sapient beings, possibly, bringing forth civilizations that might be far more advanced than humanity. Hence what we were just talking about a couple of minutes ago, the Fermi paradox. We are going to focus on the sapient and advanced life forms that may be visiting Earth. Origin: cosmic pluralism, the plurality of worlds, or simply pluralism, describes a philosophical belief in numerous worlds in addition to Earth, which might harbor extraterrestrial life. Before the development of the heliocentric theory and a recognition that the sun is just one of many stars, the notion of pluralism was largely mythological and philosophical. The earliest recording assertion of extraterrestrial human life is found in ancient scriptures of Jainism. Jainism, Jainism, maybe it's
I don't know.
pronounced
We don't need to
Jainism.
worry about Jainism. We got Ann now. So.
Jainism or Jainism is an ancient Indian religion. There are multiple worlds mentioned in the Jain scriptures that support human life. Jainism is one of the oldest religions in the world and estimated to currently be over 5,000 years old. I put 500,000 years old, but I don't think it's that old. That goes back before
We could talk.
evolution of human Homo sapiens. So yeah, over 5,000 years old. There was a dramatic shift in thinking initiated by the invention of the telescope and the Copernican assault on the geocentric cosmology. Once it became clear that the Earth was merely one planet amongst countless bodies in the universe, the theory of extraterrestrial life started to become more a topic in the scientific community. Evolving over the centuries, extraterrestrial life has embedded and flowered with criticism, scientific community support, government funding, and general acceptance by humanity.
As well as videos of UFOs.
Absolutely. While nothing tangible regarding evidence of ET exists, that is publicly available, our culture around the world have been fascinated with the potential of ETs. If we do meet an ET, will they be peaceful and assist humanity, or will they be our existential doom? So yeah, aliens, that kind of is a broad range for number one, because it covers a bunch of different Halloween type of characters. I couldn't really fit superheroes into this, so for everybody wanting a superhero into this list, Origin is Marvel.
Your list focused on scarier stuff.
Yeah. It's
More, like superheroes.
more
aren't really
quintessential
scary.
Halloween style characters as opposed to pop culture kind of stuff. But yeah.
This was fun, man.
Did you like it?
Good stuff.
This
Yeah,
was good.
I like stuff like this.
Well, thank Fluff. It was her idea. This is 100% her idea. I just pulled the references, did the homework, and put it into a paperwork.
Nice. Well, thanks, Fluff. Thanks.
Yeah, Twisted Council, and now a council elder. Fluff elevated
That's
herself
true,
into the
yeah.
council elder role tonight. That's fucking awesome. No, we do take, so that kind of leads me into what I wanted to say a little bit about the council members. Council members have a separate channel in our Discord chat where they can make suggestions for shows, or even kind of, play, what do you call it? Armchair quarterback to give us some ideas on how we would structure a show. So it's one of the extra benefits that council members have, is you got direct lines into what could potentially change the outcome of one of our episodes, and that happened tonight.
That's true.
Good stuff.
So we just got in that Discord live stream an alien sighting, like a personal story from somebody,
No shit.
from our local friend.
I'm not, so forgive us, when we're hosting the show, we don't ever really pay attention to our phones for keeping track of Discord, so forgive me if I didn't see that, but yeah, dude,
No,
recap it.
that's fine. I've been hanging out with him because I'm not hosting. That's the deal. So from our local friend, he said, I definitely saw a UFO one night, but I'm on the fence on whether or not it was military craft. So he has his disclaimer. I looked up into the heavens while smoking a cigarette, and I could see this faint shadow. I kept an eye on it, but it
Was
wasn't.
it a left-handed cigarette?
But it wasn't.
Sorry, continue.
But it wasn't moving. Then eventually, some thrusters kicked in on one side, and it kind of just flew off. No noise, no lights other than just faint blue lights, or faint blue thrusters.
Really?
Yeah, was that local? I'm sorry, I don't need to bring Discord too far into the live stream, but yeah, that's or into the show. But so yeah, we got alien sightings in Discord.
I've seen some bizarre shit as well.
Was local.
Oh, cool.
I've seen some bizarre shit in my day too, but nothing that I can't necessarily attest to. like a satellite falling out of orbit, or coincidental timing.
You've seen a satellite falling out of orbit?
It looks like a shooting star.
That's badass. Still.
Yeah, it's not quite as brilliantly lit up as a shooting star, but it leaves a very apparent trail. I mean, you see it. If it's during the day, you see the residual leftover of it burning up. If it's at night, then you see some pretty fucking bright flashes of light that aren't as bright as like an actual meteorite or like a small asteroid type of object coming in the atmosphere, but they definitely do burn up in our atmosphere pretty often. There's a lot of space junk out there, man.
And it's also to add the plausibility to it, it's entirely possible that it was some sort of experimental military craft. We are very near, like North Florida, not the Panhandle, not the Gulf side, but North Florida on the Atlantic side. They do fly experimental Air Force craft.
And we've got so many bases around here. We've got the Space Force Station at Kennedy Space Center.
And we've got Patrick Air Force Base.
Which
Patrick
is now
Space Force
Base.
Patrick
Space.
SFB.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't even realize that.
Up north, Daytona has something, don't they? And then down south, like around Boca.
We got Homestead down there.
Vero. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a ton of
them.
There's a ton of Air Force centric, or a bunch of flight centric bases around Florida.
Florida's pretty easy to spot from space too. So I believe that local guy saw an alien. I think it was.
Hey, I'll buy it.
An alien. By the way, to tie it back into why I said fuck the Fermi paradox, I've said it before on the show. We've discussed what the Fermi paradox is.
Arrogant.
To me, it is one of mankind's most arrogant assertions about, since we haven't seen them yet, with all of our looking, there's obviously no intelligent life out there. To me, that is the most arrogant thing we've ever.
But it's a valid question.
Sure.
But I think that they just there's a lot of answers as to why we
Fermi, Albert Einstein. I don't remember who the other scientist was. We're sitting around discussing that exact topic.
Yeah,
and
that's
simply
interesting when that was conceived.
Yeah, in the 50s during Manhattan Project, wasn't it?
I'm not sure about that.
I think it was during the Manhattan Project, during the creation of the nuclear bomb. Yay! What a great step for humanity there.
We got a clock out of it.
All right, I guess. Yay.
The atomic clock?
Good. I know where you were going with that.
3 minutes to self-destruction.
We also lost 250,000 people so far, I think, right? Ooh. Only 2 bombs have been dropped.
Man, took the wind right out of those sails.
Did I take it down?
Way to bring it down.
Yeah. Damn it, sorry. Wasn't my intention. Here, let me bring it back up in the room a little bit. That's what they all sounded like when they died, Josh. All right.
Wow.
All right.
This was fun, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. No, hey, Fluff, thank you for the recommendation. Good list tonight. Good list recommendation. Clay, I'm still working on that other list about space stuff. So we'll get to another council members episode here in the near future. Anything else, boys?
That's it.
Wrap it up and get out of here. Go do our after show for our council members. We got anything else we got to cover?
No, just quick thanks to Twisted Council, as we have been, to our Twisted Elders. Thank you very much. To Discord for hanging out during the live stream. TruePhonic for providing all of our tasty jams. And, of course, to our show sponsor,
So that's
Manscaped.
accurate to say I truly created a frame. What just happened? I was like, what's happening
What
here?
happened?
I didn't flip back over to the. I was still playing Ron's orgasm and.
We need a producer.
I thought we were flowing right into the after show.
There we go. God damn it. I need to stop drinking during the after show. God damn it. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for listening. On behalf of the Twisted 10, I was your host tonight. I'm Adam.
I'm Josh.
And I'm with a non-produced show. No, I'm Ron.
Fuck that nerd. All right, guys. Have a great night. We will see you next week.